Right, so I don't know how to start this video, so I'll just jump right in because I don't have much time. Marley passed away 2 weeks ago, a few hours after that last live stream. Yeah, so what happened is when Mum came home, I talked to her and we sort of agreed, yeah, it was time for him to go. Um, and one of the things, if you watch that live stream, about halfway through, he sort of lies down, and then when Mum came home, he didn't get up to say hi, and she came into my room and he just sort of lay there. There's Hopi, he's trapped because plans have not gone to plan again. Anyway, yeah, he didn't get up to say hello to her, and so we're both like, wow, that's a bad sign. She had to go out somewhere, and so after that, I was doing something in the kitchen, maybe with Hope, and yeah, Amali actually got up and ran out, and so I gave him some more chicken, but you know, he was still struggling. Just that did give me a bit of doubt because I was like, oh, suddenly he's sort of okay again, but no. So you know, I had started to call, you know, family members because we needed someone to watch Mikey while we took Marley out. But I thought, well, I should see if he wants to walk, so I put on his harness. He was a bit slow about it, but he came out and he was pretty happy, and we walked up like one tree up the road. Um, and he was happy for that first bit, but when I turned back, I didn't want to go too far from the house because, like, if he couldn't keep walking, I didn't want us to have need rescuing. So when I started walking back, I think that's when he realized it wasn't a real walk. I think he had the excitement of the walk because he's still a dog. He likes going for walks. And so that, yeah, that first bit, he was like, oh, we're going out. But when we turned around, he's like, confusion. Oh, wait, actually, I feel crap. And then he was very slow coming back. And so we did walk a little bit out the front of the house. But, oh my God, distracting things happening. Yeah, I brought him back in the house, and I mean, the fact that he still did want to eat a little bit, but, and then did want to sort of go for a walk, but he couldn't really handle it. And like when I was giving him bits of chicken, he'd eat a few bits and then turn away, which for a Labrador is not a good sign. So after that, I called Dad because, you know, I was waiting for Mum to get back, and I thought, well, I need to book the vet as soon as possible if we need to get this done. So yeah, I called Dad and he agreed, and so yeah, I booked Marley in for euthanasia, and uh, yeah, when Mum got back, you know, I just updated her on how he was going, and we're like, you know, he was not looking good. So we did finally get an aunt and uncle to watch Mikey, and that afternoon was really hard because Marley kept coming up to me like, I need help, and I was like, it's just a few more hours, just hang in there. Um, and uh, yeah, like, I mean, I've written more stuff, but mainly on my private Facebook, or I posted it on Patreon as well. Just, yeah, I don't want to have to. It was long, so I'm not gonna read through all the stuff, but some of the stuff I'm talking about now, I didn't actually write down. Uh, a few hours, that was difficult. I gave him, like, you know, some last meal type stuff, but towards the end of the day, he just didn't want to eat anything else, which, yeah, I think through that day he was deteriorating even then. And then, uh, I'm not sure if you could see in that live stream, but his back legs were getting a little bit shaky, and so we drove to the vet in the little car, but Mum and I had to like do a double lift to get him in because he didn't want to jump up, or maybe couldn't jump up. He got out of the car okay. Um, he was happy to go to the vet because he likes the vet, unlike Hope, wherever he's gone. Oh, there you are. Hope does not like the vet at all. Lots of anxiety, and he doesn't like being trapped in a room either. Alright, you can go. No? Yes? Maybe? Um, yeah, uh, I guess, you know, Labrador at the vet, very easygoing, and also the vet gives food. Hope is too anxious to accept food from the vet, but Marley used to love being fed. Um, so he was happy to go in, and when we went in, there was like this couple with a young dog in that sort of stage, like it was a big dog, but in that stage from just growing up from a puppy, hasn't figured out how big it's gotten, and was sitting on their lap. It was just this awkward sight, but no, Marley said hello to the dog and like wagged his tail, so he did have a bit of that happiness. Then we took him in, and I don't really want to talk about that, I think. So basically, like, it was peaceful, and yeah, what I've written I guess on the Patreon or my private Facebook, sort of says from there. And I don't really want to revisit. So, yeah, that's what happened with Marley. And I'm sorry I didn't say anything earlier. And also, like, my videos have been a bit dodgy in the past while. Because, yeah, on that day is when Dave, Marley's favorite human, flew off on holiday. And, the family, we'd all agreed we weren't going to say anything until he got back. Because, the idea is, like, don't, hopefully he'll enjoy his holiday. And, it turns out he was worrying about his dog the entire time. But, yeah, just that agreement to keep quiet. I was probably more disciplined than I should be because it's not like my brother watches my YouTube. But, none of my family, none of my immediate family watches my YouTube. Unless I've been like, hey, here's a performance I did. They'll watch that, but, and only for a little bit usually. Sometimes I hear the start of like something that I've sent them and then it doesn't last very long, so they're not really. But anyway, yeah, no, I didn't want to make any like proper YouTube videos in case I slipped up because like, yeah, it was on my mind. And so I didn't write anything on Facebook until I think, well, maybe the day after he got back. And then, yeah, 2 weeks later, I'm posting on YouTube publicly. So yeah, I'm sorry that took some time. As for me, like, so, the night after, I did not sleep well that night. And so, I mean, like, I was at peace with it because, finally he's not suffering. And, the way the vet explained things, I felt a lot better about the whole process. Like, it's not the first euthanasia I've been to. My previous Labrador, Allie, I was there for her. But this time I think I understood a bit better what was going on. And, yeah, I'm sorry, Opie. Oh my god. He's complaining because I've trapped him here. But yeah, I didn't sleep well that night. I think just like, it had been a week of stress about it and, running around that day trying to figure out, like, is this what we all want to do? Organizing all that, the vet squeezing us in and just watching him. That was difficult. And I guess my brain was still going through stuff. So I slept so badly that I couldn't work the next day. I woke up feeling like really sick. So yeah, I took the day off. And my mood was pretty down, but I think that's partly tiredness, not necessarily just emotional stuff. Like when I'm tired, I get sad, and regardless of what's happening, when I'm tired, I just don't cope with life. And since I'm tired a lot, I'm often not coping with life. But then the next thing that happened involves this little goose. So I think he did notice that something was different because, we brought home Marley's pillow and his harness, and the next morning Hope was in Dave's room, like, trying to smell. That's where I put the pillow and stuff, and he was like smelling the wall. It was kind of weird, and then like on his back legs smelling, and I can flash up a picture of him looking very confused because Marley wasn't around, but he could sort of, I think, smell him on the pillow and the harness. And, like, they weren't close mates. Like, Allie and Max were really close friends, but Hope and Marley, sort of more like roommates. I mean, Marley was fine with Hope, but Hope's always been a little bit anxious and not very social. He's very much my dog. But I think he felt secure having a big dog in the house with him, and the one dog he could tolerate, whereas he's scared of other dogs. I know, Hopi, I know, but you chose to be in here while I'm making this video. Dave's actually sick, so I've had to tell him, stay in your room, I'm gonna close my door. I can't make videos if you're walking around. I was gonna make more videos today, but yeah, plans didn't go to plan as usual. Anyway, so Hope, I think he like he knew something was up, and I think that might have made him a bit agitated. And on our back fence, you can kind of see between the gaps like little bits of light, and you can see the neighbor's dog run past. And so our back door was open, and Hope saw the shadow of the other dog going behind there, and so he bolted out, and there's some steps that go up onto our lawn. And he tripped on his way up the steps, boofed himself in the face. His chin was bleeding, his teeth were bleeding. Only like a month earlier, he had done his dental work, and yeah, suddenly he's gone and boofed himself, and like, you know, the front of his face bleeding, and I'm like, oh no. So I had to go back to the vet the very next day to get him checked out. And, you know, that was just stress I did not need. And, yeah, I mean, the vet gave me instructions and told me what to look out for and things that might happen. And I think she thought it was going to be worse than it turned out, because actually he's doing fine. It's a lot better than what we talked about might happen. He still might eventually need those teeth taken out because some of them have changed position slightly. But, you know, it's been almost 2 weeks. So, he's doing okay, aren't you, Hopi? Your teeth are feeling a lot better, aren't they? Yeah, and tomorrow he can start having dental treats again, so that's good. But yeah, just, I mean, this boy, I've never had a dog with so many medical issues, and I don't think it's just because I'm paying attention. I think it's because he's had some embarrassing boy problems and all this kind of stuff that none of my other dogs ever had. And yeah, now he's gone and boofed himself in the face. I did take some pictures. I don't know if you want to see them, so maybe I'll just like flash them up for one frame each. Because I don't think anyone wants to. I mean, there's no blood on that. It was a few days after it happened, and so it was just, yeah. But it's hard to show the vet, and so I've realized when I need to take Hope and they need to look at him in his mouth and all that kind of stuff, I should take photos at home because he's fine with me poking around in his mouth. But when he goes to the vet, unlike Marley, he's very anxious. He's shaking the whole time. He wants to escape the whole time. And then when they try and look at him, he's like, no, I don't want to be looked at. So, yeah, I guess I have to take photos. But, yeah, since those photos, nothing much has really changed. You can see the teeth are quite spread, so things do get stuck. So I can't brush his teeth yet, which he's never liked. And I was trying to get into a habit of brushing his teeth since his dental work, but yeah, I'm not sure if I should because I think some of the teeth might still be a little bit loose. But so what I've been doing in the meantime is I've been getting a toothpick, open up his little lips and just sort of making sure little bits of food aren't stuck between those front teeth. Oh dear. Anyway, so that's what's up with Hope. That's an update on Marley, which is sad, and an update on Hope, which was stressful but is now chilling out and just hopefully, you know, he's getting old, he's getting clumsier, and he doesn't realize it. He's got so much energy. You know, he's constantly jumping around, and so, like, when the vets pick him up and, you know, do an examination, they're always like, oh, his back legs are well developed, aren't they? Because he's just constantly springing around. I mean, he kind of thinks he's like a cat. He just doesn't have the balance or the height of jumping. Yeah, so that's an update on the pets and, like, just sort of my situation. I haven't been able to film really for the past 2 weeks, but I know I said I want to try and do something every day, so maybe today I'll start doing that. But tomorrow I'm working, so I probably will just post like some quick story, or we'll see. I was hoping to film like heaps more stuff today and just get through things and have like videos lined up to post every day, but you know, life didn't happen. The other thing to let you know is my psychology sessions have moved to once a fortnight. So this Thursday, I'm not going to therapy. So I have set up a live stream. I can see it on my phone, in the app, but on desktop, I can't see it yet. So I'll put a link to the live stream in the description, and maybe I guess I could pin a comment. And then also another thing, I know a lot of you don't read video descriptions anymore, but so something I want to try with this live stream, I've scheduled it in for, or if I'm going to be more Australian, apparently scheduled is too American. I've scheduled it in for 11 a.m. Sydney time. We're now on Australian Eastern Daylight Time, AEDT. So 11 a.m. AEDT on the 13th. That's Thursday, isn't it? Yeah, that's when the live stream is, right? And I realized that that's mainly only convenient for like America, maybe people in Australia who have the day off, and European night owls, or vampires, you know, night people basically. So not everyone is going to be able to make that live stream. And yeah, so what I've tried to do is I've set up a Google form. So if you have something you want me to ramble about or some particular question, you can fill out that Google form and send them to me, and I'll check them like maybe the night before or whenever I can. And yeah, I'll try to ramble about whatever stuff for those of you who can't make it, because I know there's people who are often not able to make it. So we'll see how that goes. If if people are really stupid about what they write in that, though, I won't do it again. And I'm not going to answer anything that's ridiculous or inappropriate or whatever, obviously, because I'm not an idiot. So yeah, that's a bit of an experiment, and I will put the link, I guess, in the description and pin a comment in case you're interested in that. So this Thursday, I have actually planned a live stream and pre-warned you about it, and we'll see how that goes. And so far, it's looking like I definitely have a good amount of time for that. Going forward, so, you know, I'm hoping to make Monday my filming day. We'll see how that goes. But maybe Thursdays when I'm not at psychology will be better for filming, because I think I have a longer period of time that I know no one's around. And so maybe I could make like every second Monday a streaming day, you know, sort of one Monday film, the next Monday stream, and then have an extra filming day on Thursdays, on every second Thursday. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Because I do have like so many videos I want to make, and just haven't had the chance, haven't had the privacy and space, and just feel kind of crowded. And yeah, trying to keep quiet about Marley, and then also, you know, there's just been other disruptions with family stuff, things I can't control. I do have some ideas about like in the future, because I do want to take YouTube more seriously. I'm going through a phase. I've sort of fallen out of the visual art stuff a bit, and now I'm feeling more like I want to do more music and YouTube. YouTube's probably the easier one for me, and yeah, I'm just like sitting here going, I want to make more videos, and the situation's just not been letting me get around to it so easily. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But and you know, I want to try and open up a bit more as well, and I still, like, I never used to be nervous about that stuff, but something's changed, I think, since the last big depression. But then YouTube's been recommending me this guy who makes videos about YouTubers who got big and then something happened and they like crashed and burned or fell on their faces. Although they still seem to get like ridiculous numbers of views anyway, but I guess compared to what they were, they've fallen on their faces. And what struck me is that like so many of these people are so crazy. Like, yes, I'm crazy, but at least I'm aware that I'm a nut. Whereas these people seem to think that what they're doing is somehow right, or they can't see how they've... I don't know, it's interesting. And like, yeah, I guess I'm insecure about some of the shit that goes on in my head, but at least I'm not that crazy like the guy who actually had to be taken to a mental hospital and stuff. I mean, I still might end up in a mental hospital, but I'll probably do that under my own power. Yeah, so there's a difference between me and some of those nutcases out there who got ridiculous followings, and I'm like, wow, I'm not that bad after all, am I? So, and you know, I don't need that level of following. It's just sort of interesting to see that, I don't know, these people exist, and put it all out there. And yeah, anyway, I know I'm going. Hope he wants to hop out, and also I've got to tell Dave he's set free. I probably do have time to film more, but yeah, I didn't plan any other videos for today, so let's just get this done, and then we'll try and get into that pattern. Don't forget, live stream on Thursday, 11 a.m. Sydney time, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, whatever. Or use the form to ask me stuff, and I'll see. Hopefully that goes well. A bit of an experiment. Experiments are always dangerous on the internet, but I'm gonna risk it. Behave yourselves. Funny questions are okay, but I don't know how far some of you might push that, so yeah. Catch you later.